What it is, YouTube? It's your boy DC coming back with another bullseye video here today on the channel. We're gonna be cooking up a dope preset pack for the FabFilter Pro Q4. So let's get to listening to the track.
Look, see, I'm gonna get that money, you gon' go and hate on me or what? I'm in Miami, watch me jump right out that double truck. This bitch, she with me from the city and she's turning up like, yeah, too many drugs, they run the...
So if you guys do like the video, I do actually have to tell you guys, make sure you remember that you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on nothing. So you get access to all the gems. And we're cooking up a FabFilter Pro Q4 pack. So the very first thing that I have right here is FabFilter Pro Q4, and it's really dope. I think that the spectral thing in it is really dope, to be honest. But let's just talk about in general EQ. How do you approach it when it comes to like rap music? So specifically with the EQ right here, I like to use a smiley face EQ curve. Let's talk about the basic controls of EQ and the mentality I like to have. Personally, whenever I use EQ, I like to use whole numbers. I like to use whole numbers because sometimes if somebody wants you to change something in the song, rather than be like, oh, should I change it to 2.3 or 1.556? I'm not a fucking NASA in a spaceship. I'm not in a rocket ship. I'm not trying to make calculations. So I use whole numbers just to make it even. If somebody's like, yo, there's too much bass, I pull it back by 1 dB. I do everything by whole numbers. Okay, so then now you have low shelf. So pretty much low shelf is like the booty. You know, this is the shape of the butt. Okay, you can have different shapes when it comes to EQ. Low shelf is just gonna boost up everything. Just know a low shelf boost up everything from this and below, and a high shelf boost everything from this and above, just to keep it simple and direct. So this is the first preset I actually made, which is the pretty much basic on the master EQ. Usually you kind of want to have a little bit of bass, a little bit of top end, and it just kind of makes the mix already sound like what it's supposed to sound like, and you can just dial it back from there.
Look, see, I'm gonna get that money, you gon' go and hate on me or what? I'm in Miami, watch me jump right out that double truck. This bitch, she with me from the city and she's turning up like, yeah, too many drugs, they run the club, we going up. She wanna kick it, I told her we got drugs like, I'm off Henny with my semi, ben I run up on me, yeah. Shit, I'm the ticket, she love it when I put that shit on, yeah.
And honestly, for me, like if I was using this preset too, I would start going there, maybe do like 1 or 2 notches maximum. And the notches would be super subtle, like maybe like half a dB as well. So that's something for you to always know about. So master bus EQ, a lot of the analog ones, this is the shapes that they're giving you, shelves, because the shelves are like super musical. Okay, so now let's actually get to starting off with this. This is a basic mix. Like I'm not showing you guys something that's already fully mixed. I'm showing you guys something that is from scratch. So when you use the preset pack, it's gonna be like, oh shit, it's gonna sound right. So the first thing we got is an 808, and with the 808, this type of shape I went for is like a Pultec style shape. Okay, you see my consistency right here, whole numbers. I only use whole numbers so I can work backwards. And when you have a bass like this, you kind of want to go for the upper harmonic. And dude, the most important thing to do on an EQ like this is to level match it. It's not like the analog EQs, right? Where you guys see sometimes on the analog EQs, I will purposely make it louder on the analog EQ because it has maybe a transformer emulation, maybe a tube emulation, these juice and this sauce and this bell pepper and this pickle and this onion, all this extra juice that comes from the loudness of the actual plugin. But this plugin, you don't benefit from no type of loudness. So me personally, what I like to do is I just level match my shit and make sure I'm not tricking myself with the level. And also too, if you keep adding level, more and more level, you're gonna fuck up your you'll fuck up your master fader. For example, if I had a SSL bus compressor over here, right? And the SSL bus compressor is hitting perfectly fine. Now all of a sudden I go over here to my goddamn 808, I boost 3 dBs, which is okay, but then I don't level match that shit. You know, I don't make sure it's the same level, then I'm gonna make my shit work too hard. All right. So the next thing I have right here as well is going to be a kick. Okay, so this is a dope kick preset pack. And you know, just to make a honest, you know, thing, I don't usually use filters on like bass and kick. I only did it here because specifically this is a trick I want to show you guys when you want to add more knock. You kind of want to do like a resonant peak and a push. Let's pay attention to the mentality. Look at how I boosted in this area because I want that the neck of the bass. Come on, show me the neck tattoo bass, and then I kind of dipped it down in this area right here. So like I'm helping that really cut through. So song by song, you always got to think about what you want to cut through, and you build around that. Always keep a vision in your head. I'm gonna take this hammer, I'm gonna bang it into that motherfucking nail. Then I'm gonna take this piece of plywood, I'm gonna put that in the wall, and I'm gonna get this house built up, which is my mix. All right, so always think like that. Now, the next way I like to personally use the FabFilter Pro C is going to be on my snare. Look at how I got an active dynamic EQ. Sometimes when I have harshness, I like to use the dynamic EQ, which is easy by just clicking. You'll see it says make dynamic. You could do that on the Pro Q3 as well. The reason why I move like that is very important in a song is because when you actually have your lead vocal working, sometimes that harshness from that snare can make you be like, man, why my vocal not cutting through? You trying to boost your vocal and shit, when in reality you just needed to cut back the snare a little bit.
See, I'm gon' get that money, you gon' go and hate on me, oh. I'm in Miami, watch me jump right out that double R. This bitch, she with me from the city, and she's turning up like, yeah. Too many drugs, they run the club, we going up. She wanna kick it, I told her we got drugs, like, I'm off Henny with my semi, ben I run up on me, yeah. Shit, I'm the ticket, she love it when I put that shit.
So it's just like a situation kind of like that. So that's how that EQ move can help you. And then with the backup snare, that me personally, I like to make that snare chunky. All right. A lot of times I like to thin out my snares because I want the snare to sit back. I want my vocal to be forward, but I want my snare to sit back. So for me, that's the reason why sometimes I might use filters. I don't necessarily use it to take away mud. It's just because I actually want to help the snare sit back. I want my snare to sit back and I want my lead vocal to be up front. Sometimes you want your snare to sit up front and your lead vocal to sit back. It all depends on the song. And also another great thing too is the high shelves. I use high shelves so much. I probably use it more than the actual filter. Because with the high shelf, imagine it like when you on your phone and you go to the brightness and you pull in the brightness back. Okay, a filter is more like when you actually click the button on your phone, you turn off the screen completely. If you filter off enough top end, you completely turned off your vocal.
See, I'm gon' get that money, you gon' go and hate on me, oh. I'm in Miami, watch me jump right out that double R. This bitch, she with me from the city, and she's turning up like, yeah. Too many drugs, they run the club, we going up. She wanna.
So this is more like a balancing type of move because look, I've got the expander, boom, boom, working on the mid range, and I kind of just shaved off a little bit of the low end using the shelf. So you see, like I'm just smoothly shaving it off like a baby's bottom. You feel me? It's not necessarily like I'm over here ripping off all the low end because I still want this to be true. I want it to have a little bit of movement to it. So I used a little bit of that upwards type of thing.
See, I'm gon' get that money, you gon' go and hate on me, oh. I'm in Miami, watch me jump right out.
Then also I took advantage of the new Spectral, which is, dude, this thing is very impressive. I feel like low-key the Spectral is kind of like, is it worth upgrading? Because I feel like that's the most significant thing, but it's really dope.
See, I'm gon' get that money, you gon' go and hate on me, oh. I'm in Miami, watch me jump right out that double R. This bitch, she with me from the city, and she's turning up like, yeah. Too many drugs, they run the club, we going up. She wanna kick it, I told her we got drugs, like, I'm off Henny with my semi, ben I run up on me, yeah. Shit, I'm the ticket.
So I use a little bit of a shelf to give some air to the entire so it's all about the positioning and how you want to position things. You are kind of like the puppet master when it's coming to mixing, and the EQ is the tool that's going to help you pull the strings of how you want some things to be forward, some things to be back. Now on the actual music bus, let me show you how I like to set up the low end for a record. I do these three things. I will use the music, right? I will use the music, I will use the kick, and I will use the bass. I will use these three elements, and I will listen to the low end in the sample. Do I want to use the low end in the sample? Because sometimes I won't make my bass hit as hard because I'm going to let the music have the body. So you hear there's like this, there is some low end and some good low end. So that's why I actually decided to shelf it. And I did a couple DBs, but I shelved it, so I could shave off that low end so the basic kick still hits hard, but the bass is still there. If I was to do a filter, it would be like completely cutting it off. And I put this a little bit of this right here, just most importantly for the fact that I want to get rid of some harshness, so I like the spectral too because it's not doing too much. So there's like some crystally style frequencies that are getting a little bit harsh and overdone it. So when it comes to the actual Pro Q4, I love this little preset that I cooked up. I love to set my low end of the record, like how I said again, using the vocal, bro. I will use the body. I will listen to the body of everything, the kick, the 808, as well as the sample, and hear like how much body do I want to have on my vocal.
See, I'm gon' get that money, you gon' go and hate on me, oh. I'm in Miami, watch me jump right out that double truck. This bitch, she with me from the city and
so that's gonna come down to these two first moves. How much do I filter? And then I usually always go into the low mid. How much low mid do I want to take out? I took out like a dB, but sometimes I might take out more depending on how much I hear the low end of the vocal. It depends on the rapper's flow. It depends on the pattern of the 808, and it depends on the kick altogether. But this preset is pretty general and it will work. There's always going to be a little bit of harshness in the upper mid-range area, so I located it and used the actual spectral again, which that spectral is just overpowered as fuck. It's like having a tiny soothing stuff, and then just adding a little bit of presence back, because sometimes you got to take, but you got to give. You got to be generous.
see, I'm gon' get that money, you gon' go and hate on me, oh. I'm in Miami, watch me jump right out that double truck. This bitch, she with me from the city and she's turning up like, yeah. Too many drugs, they round the club, we going up. She wanna kick it, I told her we got drugs like, I'm off Henny with my semi, Ben, I run up on me, yeah. Shit, I'm the ticket, she love it when I put that shit on, yeah. Backseat riding with that chopper and I'm sipping double cup. I keep them shooters in my rear, yeah. I tell them, bust, you pull on side me. On the road, we leave the body. I'm like, what you trying to get into? She like, come put that dick inside me. Hold on, I drive. Serve them bags right out the back. In the basement, we got dirty.
So now you see how that snare takes one step back away from the actual lead vocal. So these two little brothers ain't fighting over the same bottle of Coca-Cola. Thank you guys very much. If you guys want to buy the preset pack, you will see the link down below. Support the channel, buy that preset pack. Check out the website. More preset packs coming. There's going to be a new course this month. We stepping it up. So I appreciate you guys. I will see you guys in the next video. See you now. Peace.